I still remember the exact moment it happened. The restaurant was packed, the noise of plates clinking and people talking filling the air. I was rushing between tables, trying to keep everyone happy. Then, out of nowhere, I heard it, sharp, cold, like a slap across my face. "You'll never be more than just a server." The woman snapped at me, eyes narrowed, voice dripping with contempt. I froze, my heart skipped a beat, and everything inside me tensed up. Hurt, disbelief. A quiet anger bubbling just beneath the surface. I stood there for a moment, not sure if I should say something, cry or just run away. Serving tables had always been more than just a job to me. I loved the rhythm of it, the small smiles I could steal from tired customers, the feeling that I was doing something honest and real. But on days like this, when a rude comment cut through all the noise, it felt like my spirit cracked, like maybe the woman was right. Sometimes, I wonder if people see me only as a server, the girl who takes orders, brings food, and cleans up messes. They don't see the late nights I spend studying, the dreams I hold close when no one is watching, dreams of a life where I'm more than the girl in the apron. But in that moment, her words echoed loudly, and the busy restaurant seemed to fall silent around me. I looked down at the tray in my hands, feeling the weight of the insult like it was made of stone. "You'll never be more than just a server." The words hung in the air, sharp and unforgiving. No one said a thing, the woman's gaze stayed fixed on me, waiting for a reaction, and I just stood there, swallowed by the silence she left behind. I've been working at this restaurant for almost 2 years now. It's not what I dreamed of doing, but it's what I needed to do. I'm in college, studying to become a graphic designer, but between tuition, rent, and helping out my family, I needed a job that could pay the bills. So here I am, apron tied tight, balancing plates, and trying to stay upbeat even when my feet ache at the end of the night. Some people think waiting tables is easy, but it's not. It's long hours on your feet, fake smiles when you don't feel like smiling, and dealing with people who sometimes forget there's a human behind the order pad. I've had customers who yell, complain, and make me feel invisible. But I try to remind myself, this is temporary. One day, I'll be out of here working on what I really love. That thought keeps me going. I've had people tell me I'm talented, that I can do more than this job. My art professor once said, "Don't let this job define you. Your future is bright." Even my mom tells me, "Keep your head up, you're stronger than you think." Their words feel like warm blankets on cold nights. But sometimes, when I'm alone, the doubt creeps in. What if I'm not good enough? What if this is all I'm ever meant to be? That's why the words from that customer cut so deep. "You'll never be more than just a server." It wasn't just an insult, it felt like a verdict, like all my dreams were worthless. Like she saw through me and found nothing more than the job I was stuck in. It reminded me of another time, years ago in high school. I tried out for the art club, really gave it my all, but the teacher told me I wasn't good enough, that I should stick to simpler things. I left that room feeling small, like I didn't belong anywhere. It was the first time I felt invisible, like I didn't matter. Now, standing in that crowded restaurant, hearing that cruel sentence again, the old feeling of not being enough crawled back in. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to disappear. But I didn't. I forced myself to breathe, to focus on the next table, the next order. I told myself that one rude person couldn't decide my worth. I told myself I was more than a server. I had to believe it, because if I didn't, what was the point of everything else? Still, the words lingered, like shadows I couldn't shake off. I smiled through the rest of the night, but inside I was shaking. The rude customer wasn't done. After that cutting insult, she kept finding things to complain about. Every time I walked by her table, she'd snap at me like I was invisible until she needed something. "You forgot the ketchup," she barked. "Can't you pay attention? This place is a joke." She nitpicked everything, the way the napkins were folded, the speed of the food coming out, even how the silverware was arranged. I felt eyes from other tables watching, but no one spoke up. Maybe they were used to this kind of behavior. Maybe they didn't want to get involved. I wanted to disappear. My hands trembled and my throat tightened, but I forced a smile and tried to stay calm. I told myself, "You're better than this. Don't let her break you." But under all the pressure, I made a mistake. I brought her salad with the wrong dressing. It was a small error, but she pounced on it like a predator. "Unbelievable," she sneered. How do you even have this job? You can't even do something this simple right. Her voice was loud enough that some customers glanced over, eyebrows raised. My face burned with embarrassment. I wanted to explain, apologize, anything. But the words stuck in my throat. Then with a cruel smile, she leaned back and repeated the same harsh line, louder this time, "You'll never be more than just a server." It felt like a punch to the gut. My hands gripped the tray so tight, my knuckles turned white, my chest heaved and the tears threatened to spill. The restaurant noise faded, and all I could hear was her voice, over and over. The weight of those words pressed down on me like a heavy stone. For a moment I thought I might break, fall apart right there in front of everyone. My legs felt weak, but somewhere deep inside, a small spark fought back, telling me I was worth more. Still standing there, with all those eyes on me, I wasn't sure how much longer I could hold on. Just when I thought I couldn't take another second of the rude customer's cruelty, something unexpected happened. A calm voice cut through the tension, clear and steady. "Excuse me," said a man sitting at a nearby table. He looked to be in his late 30s, dressed simply but with an air of confidence that caught everyone's attention. "That's enough." The woman who had been tearing me down blinked in surprise. The restaurant fell quieter, as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The man stood up slowly, looked right at the rude customer, and said, "There's no excuse for treating someone like that, especially someone who's working hard to keep things running." I blinked, not sure if this was real. Someone was actually defending me. He turned then, addressing me directly with a warm smile. "You're doing a tough job, and you're doing it well. It takes a lot of strength to keep going when people try to bring you down." The rude customer's face flushed with embarrassment, and she snapped back, "Mind your own business." But the man wasn't done. "I've been in your shoes," he said softly. "Years ago I worked jobs people looked down on. I was told I'd never amount to more, but I didn't listen. I kept my head down, learned what I could, and followed my dreams. Hard work and respect, those are the real things that matter." His words weren't loud or flashy, but they carried weight. People started nodding quietly, murmurs of agreement spreading through the room. The rude customer looked like she wanted to say something else, but the man's steady gaze stopped her. She finally got up, gathered her things, and left without another word. For the first time all night, the room felt lighter. Customers smiled at me, some even offering kind words as they returned to their meals. I didn't know what to say. My heart pounded with a mix of relief and something new. "Hope." The stranger sat back down and smiled gently. "Don't let anyone tell you who you are or what you can be," he said. "You're worth more than a job title." I nodded, feeling tears prick the corners of my eyes. Someone saw me. Someone believed in me when I was struggling to believe in myself. The stranger glanced around and said quietly, "Everyone deserves respect, no matter where they are in life." That moment changed everything. The harsh words that had haunted me just minutes before started to lose their power. I still wasn't sure who this man was or why he chose to stand up for me. But in that moment I felt less alone. Sometimes, all it takes is one person to remind you of your worth. And that night, he did. After the rude customer left, the restaurant slowly returned to its usual rhythm. But I couldn't stop looking at the stranger who had stepped in for me. He caught my gaze and smiled again, this time with something a little more familiar in his eyes. Then he said something I didn't expect. "Do you remember a few months ago, when you dropped off your resume at the downtown art studio?" His voice was calm but steady. I blinked. How did he know about that? I had been nervous to try, afraid it was too far out of reach for me. I had given the resume to the receptionist, hoping for a chance, but hadn't heard back. "I do," I said slowly, still unsure where this was going. "Well," he said, "I'm the owner of that studio." My heart skipped. The owner, that was a name I'd only heard in passing. Someone successful in a field I dreamed of joining. "I've seen your work online," he said, pulling out his phone and showing me some pictures, sketches, designs, pieces I recognized. "You've got talent, real talent. The question is, do you believe it?" I was speechless. All the months of doubt and struggle flashed through my mind. I wanted to say yes, but part of me was still afraid it wasn't true. He continued, "I want to offer you an internship. It won't pay much, but it's a start, a chance to learn, grow, and maybe one day make your dreams real." I wanted to laugh with relief and cry with joy all at once. This stranger, who had stood up for me when I was about to break, was offering me a real chance. Meanwhile, the rude customer lingered near the door, watching quietly. I caught her glance, a mix of surprise and defeat. Her sharp words had lost their power now. That moment was a turning point for me. It wasn't just about a job or an internship, it was about understanding my worth. The rude customer's words didn't define me. Her bitterness wasn't my future. I felt something swell inside me, disbelief at my luck, gratitude for this unexpected kindness, and hope I hadn't dared to feel in a long time. For so long, I had let the judgment of strangers shape how I saw myself. But now I realize something important. No matter what anyone says, I am more than a title or a job. I am a person with dreams, with strength, and with the power to change my story. That night, as I left the restaurant, I carried with me a new belief, one that no rude customer could take away. The next few days felt like a whirlwind. After the stranger offered me the internship, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It wasn't just a job offer, it was a lifeline. A way out of the doubt and the smallness I'd been feeling for so long. I called him the very next morning. My voice trembled with nervous excitement as I thanked him for the chance. He told me to come by the studio the following Monday. That gave me a few days to prepare, to imagine a new version of myself, not just a server at a restaurant, but someone stepping into a world I had dreamed of for years. At work, everything felt different. The rude customer hadn't returned, and even when things got busy, I held my head a little higher. I still poured coffee, carried plates, and smiled through the rush, but I carried something else too, a spark of hope. I started using every free minute to practice my art. Sketching on napkins during breaks, scrolling through tutorials on my phone when I had a moment alone. I signed up for an online design course, something I'd wanted to do but never had the time or courage for before. The first day at the art studio was overwhelming and exciting all at once. The walls were covered in colors and creativity, and people were busy making things I could only dream of creating one day. The owner, the stranger who had stood up for me, introduced me to the team and showed me around. He was kind and encouraging, but he didn't sugarcoat anything. This was hard work, and I needed to be ready for the challenge, but I was ready. For the first time in a long time, I believed I could handle whatever came my way. Looking back, it's strange to think how close I was to letting one rude comment break me. That night in the restaurant, her words almost stole my dreams. But one kind stranger saved me. He reminded me of my worth, showed me the door to a new path. That experience taught me something important, that kindness matters even from strangers. That words have power, and so does belief. Belief in yourself and belief from others can change everything. My confidence grew slowly, step by step. I still had moments of doubt, days when the old fears crept in. But I learned to push through, to remind myself where I was headed. Even now, I carry that moment with me, not the pain, but the lesson. I've made it a personal promise to always be kind. Especially to those who serve us, the servers, the baristas, the grocery clerks, the delivery drivers. And also the students, the young people trying to find their way, doing their best, while the world rushes past them. Because the truth is, you never know what someone is going through. You never know what kind of battle they're fighting silently behind tired eyes, or a forced smile. I know that feeling all too well. I remember what it felt like to stand there, trying to keep it together while someone tore me down with a few cruel words. That kind of pain lingers, not because the words are true, but because they touch the parts of us we're already unsure of. But because of that day, because of one stranger's kindness, I also learned how deeply powerful compassion can be. It doesn't take much, just a kind word. A moment of understanding. A reminder that someone sees you, really sees you, and believes you matter. I'm still working hard, and I always will. The road in front of me isn't paved with guarantees. I still have late nights, moments of doubt, and days when it feels like the world is moving faster than I can keep up. But now, I walk that road with my head held higher. I no longer feel like I have to prove that I'm more than just a server. Because I know now, that label never truly fit me. It was never who I was, it was just a stop along the way, a chapter in the story, not the whole book. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't see someone stuck. I see someone who didn't give up. Someone who held on, even when she didn't know how. Someone who listened when a voice of kindness reached out and offered her something she had forgotten how to ask for. Belief. The truth is, I didn't change overnight. I still carry some of those scars, some of those doubts. But now, I carry hope too. A quiet kind of hope. The kind that says, I'm still here, I'm still going, and maybe the most beautiful part of it all is this. The future finally feels like it belongs to me. Like it's wide open, filled with paths I never thought I'd be brave enough to walk down. Dreams I thought I'd buried under fear and exhaustion are beginning to bloom again, slowly but surely, and I want to protect that. I want to hold on to that feeling of lightness, of possibility. Words really are powerful. They shape us, they can become anchors that weigh us down, or wings that lift us up. That night, a stranger's words almost shattered me. But then, another stranger's words, calm, kind, and full of belief, built me back up in ways I can't fully explain. One voice tried to destroy me. Another helped me find myself again. Since then, I've come to understand that everyone deserves respect, especially those who spend their days working hard to serve others, often unnoticed and unappreciated. Behind every uniform, every tired smile, is a person with a story. A person with dreams. A person trying their best, in a world that sometimes feels too heavy. So if there's one thing you take from this story, let it be this. Kindness matters. It's not small. It's not weak. It's not just a nice idea. It's real. It's powerful. And sometimes it's the only thing keeping someone from falling apart. No matter who you are, no matter what your job title is, or what anyone else says about you, you are enough. You are not the names others call you. You are not the moments you've stumbled. You are not the labels they try to stick on your back. So hold on to your dreams, even the quiet ones, especially the quiet ones. Believe in yourself, even when it feels like no one else does, because sometimes belief is the first step toward everything changing. And if you ever see someone struggling, don't walk past them. Say something kind. Offer a smile. You never know, you might be the voice that saves them. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to spread kindness. Together we can remind the world that everyone deserves respect and hope. Thank you for listening.